Welcome to Unite Planet. Here I am in the kitchen of Revelation. Now, this is a special edition of Unite Planet. It's a World Cup edition because football fever's in the air. Now you may be thinking, where's Paul? Well, I'm afraid he can't join me because he's got a nasty foot infection. But mainly it's because he hates football. So I'm having to do this on my own. Anyway, for those Unite Planet viewers who, like Paul, can't stand football, well, it's just tough because you're going to have a whole month of it. It's going to be everywhere. You can't escape it. Unless, of course, you try and hide. Maybe under the table, in the wardrobe, or in the shed. Or under the bed. So what's all this World Cup like then, Johnny? Well, I'm sure you know what the World Cup is, but in case those Unite Planet viewers who don't know or probably don't even care, well, allow me to explain. 13 nations competed for the first World Cup, with host nation Uruguay taking the prize after beating Argentina 4-2 in the final. The World Cup will be held every 4 years, and it went up to 16 teams by the time it came round to the next tournament in Italy, the host nation being the winner yet again. The 1950 World Cup in Brazil sparked the first real shock of its short history after fancied nation England were knocked out by the USA after the American amateur team beat them 1-0. It was England's first foray into the World Cup and it ended badly. Should have been a sign of things to come. And then the decisive match of the tournament with hosts and highly rated Brazil against previous champions Uruguay. Brazil were fully expected to take the title but were beaten 2-1. Surprisingly, it was Uruguay who took their second World Cup title. Brazilian legend Pelé made his introduction to the world stage during the 1958 World Cup finals at the age of just 17. He dazzled at the tournament, scoring one of the most memorable goals in the final against host nation Sweden. (1966), of course the only time England were crowned champions, after beating West Germany 4-2 after extra time. More on that later. The 1970 World Cup in Mexico saw Brazil demonstrate the art of football and the reason it became known as the beautiful game. They won a third title which allowed them to keep the Jules Rimet trophy for good. The 1974 World Cup saw a brand new World Cup trophy, one to which is still contested for today. In 1986, the World Cup in Mexico belonged to Diego Maradona, who guided his nation to victory with a mixture of controversy and utter brilliance.
Maradona. Going at them again. Brilliant run by Maradona. Fantastic goal. Unbelievable. World class in the best sense of the phrase.
In 1998, it was France who emerged as champions for the first time, and it was on their home territory. The 2002 World Cup was to be held in Asia for the first time by joint nations Japan and South Korea, and it was Brazil who ran out as winners for a record 5th time. The first World Cup to be held in African soil was in 2010 in South Africa, under the drone of the Vuvuzelas. Spain won the title for the first time.
The trophy that means that Spain are the kings of world football.
The last World Cup in Brazil in 2014 saw the Germans romp home to victory after seeing off their host nations and favourites 7-1 in the semi-final, before beating Argentina in the final to win the trophy for the 4th time.
Andre Schürrle, it's 7.
Just trying to finish my World Cup sticker album. So what about this summer's World Cup in Russia? What can we expect? Well, in the next montage of clips, we'll highlight some of the great players who should, bar injury, grace the stage at the World Cup. Oh, not Sergio Ramos again. You've just caught me having a sample of Russian vodka since the World Cup's been held in Russia. You know, well, when in Rome. No, it's a saying. It's a saying. No, I know we're not. I know we're not in Rome. It's held in Russia. It's just a saying. So the World Cup brings much emotion, such being the mass scale of the event. So anything from sheer joy, frustration, relief, and mass despair. Right, so I'll just finish my vodka. Oh, I could do some more. Excuse me. Excuse me. Do you speak English? Do you speak English? Vodka, I would like. Do you speak English?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
I'm Russian, but I'm not stupid.
Right.
We can speak English. Right, Kashma, it's morning hours. Get your own vodka. Terrible, terrible.
Just play the clips. So, what about England's chances then in Russia? Well, as long as Panama don't prove to be another Iceland, we might just get through the group stage. Now, England have had some great moments in the World Cup, not all from 1966. Don't believe me? Well, take a look.
they think it's all over. It is now. It's 4. And Charlton. And the players bring themselves down.
Butcher has pushed well forward. There's a header in there, and a great chance for the first goal. It's there, Brian Robson. Brian Robson, number 16, counts there in the first minute. What a start for England. Amazing.
4 in the area. Lineker! Lineker far side, coming in on it. No! Magnificent goal!
What can England do in reply? Gary Stevens hit his own player, but Hoddle's there again. And Hoddle turns it, and Lineker's in there. No, he's got Hodges. Lineker! Gary Lineker! 1-0 England!
Waddle. And Lineker sneaking in, a chance for England here. Is it going in? It is! And Gary Lineker has put England in front. Won by Massey. Right, Lineker! Penalty! It's all clear!
Finds Beckham. Beckham now to Owen, and here's another Owen run. He's going to worry them again. It's a great run by Michael Owen, and he might finish it off. Oh, it's a wonderful goal! What an amazing moment in Michael Owen's young career. Wait a minute, he's taking another card out for Beckham. It's a red card for David Beckham. Oh, no.
He did retaliate. If you look, he has a little flick at him, and then he kicks
Oh, yeah,
him.
beg your pardon.
I think he's got to go, and the referee's 4 yards away.
Beckham could raise the roof here with a goal. I don't believe it. David Beckham scores the goal to take England all the way to the World Cup finals.
It's David Beckham with the penalty for England. Hold the cups and the glasses back home. You can smash them now. Beckham has scored for England. 44 minutes and he's done it again.
Milner, Defoe, that's a lovely touch. Lampard! Brilliant! It was in now! That surely crossed the line! It's not been good! It's big in. Here we go. Oh! It's so far in! Why
is it FIFA don't want? Technology. Thanks very much, Sepp Blatter.
Has found Glenn Johnson. Glenn Johnson gets it across. Should be a goal. It is. And it's Wayne Rooney.
Nice to see home fans booing you. That's the Borough supporters.
Alright, Wazza, calm down. But admittedly, England's World Cup history has been largely frustrating. Football always seems to be on the telly, doesn't it? And there are those people who say, well, football's boring, it's just grown men, many of them millionaires, just kicking a bag of air around. Well, that's true in many senses. And football's been a global sport for many years now, and in many areas of football it seems to be growing. And look at the women's game, it's grown immensely in the last few years. I wonder why. But the World Cup can't be boring. I mean, after all, it's got the Brazilians. Some of you of a certain age might even remember the 1970 Brazilian side. Now that was a team. Mexico, 1970, and it's here we start our next World Cup montage of great goals. But we're going to start with a save, and perhaps the most historical save in the World Cup history.
Just as this goalkeeper, Felix. There goes Cardino, he's onside. That's a good cross ball, it's Pelé! And a fantastic save by Banks! What a fantastic save by Gordon Banks!
Even though Gordon Banks made his brilliant save against Pelé and the Brazil team, it was the Brazil team in the 1970 World Cup that really showed the world how to play the beautiful game.
They seem to take it in turns to give an exhibition. Jairzinho, number 7. Pelé. Up comes Carlo Alberto on the right. And it's goal! Oh, that was
And so we return to Brazil, and that's fitting because it will be Brazil and their style of football that really epitomises the World Cup. Well, Brazil are something else, but just don't mention to them the 7-1 defeat to Germany last time on their home turf. So what else has the World Cup got to offer that's beyond those of the usual football fan? Anything interesting? In 1966, the Jules Rimet World Cup trophy was stolen while it was being exhibited prior to the World Cup. And in true British fashion, it was to be found 7 days later by a dog named Pickles while he was out on a walk with his owner. And Pickles would then become a kind of canine celebrity.
It's all a bit bewildering for Pickles, but for the suddenly world-famous Pooch, there's more glamour to follow. The National Sporting Club honoured the stolen trophy finders David Corbett and Pickles. Henry Cooper uncovered a special treat for Pickles, but it's turkey or nothing these days. The champ had something to impress David Corbett, though, a reward cheque for £1,000 presented by the club to Pickles and his owner.
Well, Pickles was sniffing away at a rather large parcel. When Mr. Corbett picked it up, he saw a gleam of gold.
Yes, he even got a spot on Blue Peter. But Pickles sadly passed away in 1967, doing what doggies usually do.
Mr. Corbett there by telephone, and he told us a rather sad story that just about 3 years ago, Pickles developed an extremely bad habit of chasing local cats. And on one occasion, he shot after one, his lead caught onto something, and poor old Pickles actually broke his neck. Serves him right for chasing cats.
It's a bit harsh, Peter. Talking of doing doggy things, here's Luis Suarez, the Uruguayan star who has a tendency to bite. In the 2014 World Cup game against Italy, Suarez's appetite was fulfilled by the shoulder of Italian defender Giorgio Chiellini. It's not the first time Suarez has taken a nibble on opposition players. Here's PSV's Ottoman Bakal. And then there's Chelsea's Branislav Ivanovic. Give the man a muzzle. Germany and Holland have always produced great games and fierce rivalries on the pitch, but in this 1990 World Cup second round clash, this happened.
Did he spit at Vola as he ran past? Was that my imagination? Let's hope so. Well, there was no doubt about it then. Rijkaard spat on Vola as he walked past him, and that, Bobby, is atrocious.
Then the spat continued in the tunnel, as both were eventually sent off. But eventually they kissed and made up, and even starred in a butter advert together. Aww. French legend and now Real Madrid boss Zinedine Zidane left his mark on the 2006 World Cup final and on Marco Materazzi's chest. After the Italian had apparently dissed his sister, it was to be Zidane's last game. And here are some more of World Cup's most infamous fouls, beginning with the battering of Battiston. French defender Patrick Battiston found himself through on goal from a Platini pass, only to be knocked unconscious by an oncoming Harald Schumacher. The German keeper had knocked him unconscious and didn't even receive a yellow card. How did he manage to get that past security? And then, of course, there's the infamous Hand of God from Diego Maradona against England.
Walked away from Huddle then. Maradona out and they're appealing for offside. The ball came back off the foot of Steve Hodge.
But then he went on and did this, of course.
He has Burchaka to his left and Valdano to his left. He won't need any of them. Oh!
You have to say that's magnificent. There is no debate about that goal. That was just pure football genius.
Prior to the 1970 World Cup, England captain Bobby Moore was wrongly accused of pinching a necklace. Suspicions arose that it was all foul play to distract England's chances at the World Cup, being champions at the time. And now, a nomination for the worst penalty ever goes to one Diana Ross. Mind you, I suspect after that Will Smith should be the winner. Any other nominations?
Over the bar!
Another English humiliation at a World Cup. This time it's our referee Graham Poll and his blunder at the 2006 World Cup when he issued 3 yellow cards before showing a red card to Croatian Josip Siminic. The 1978 World Cup in Argentina was held amidst political turmoil, as Argentina was in the middle of what would become known as the Dirty War, a military dictatorship after a coup to overthrow Isabel Perón from office and install a fascist military dictatorship, which terrorized the country. Many opponents of the regime were imprisoned, tortured and executed. The Esma Torture Centre was only yards away from the River Plate National Stadium. Dutch footballing maestro Johan Cruyff refused to play in the 1978 World Cup because of the torturous, terrorist nature of the military junta. It is believed that the Argentine victory at the World Cup in their home nation was fixed by General Jorge Videla's dictatorship, an attempt to cast a positive light on Argentina, most pointing to the victory over Peru, which assured them a place in the final as one such fix, as Argentina needed to secure 4 clear goals to get to the final. They incredibly got 6. At the game, Videla had a special guest, one USA Secretary of State, Henry Kissinger. It is also known that the US did financially support the Dirty War. No surprises there. And Argentina did indeed win the World Cup in an apparent dubious manner, under a dark political backdrop. And even today, the mothers and grandmothers of the Plaza de Mayo have never stopped searching for their sons and daughters and grandchildren they lost in their country's dirty war. And we finish off with another tragic controversy, which resulted after this fateful own goal by Colombian Andres Escobar. Not only did it end Colombia's World Cup in 1994, but more serious than that, it also cost Escobar his life, as he was gunned down, apparently from a drug and gambling crime syndicate, who lost money on Escobar's own goal. But it's a stark reminder of how football has become like a new religion, where even a life can be sacrificed for it. So what's United Planet's message concerning the World Cup and football, and sport in general? Well, Roman poet and satirist once stated, bread and circuses. You've probably heard that term, which generally means that to generate public approval by using distraction and subversive tactics to really offer attention away from a particular source of grievance. And H.G. Wells once noted in his book The Open Conspiracy, or What Are We to Do With Our Lives, and H.G. Wells, in his book, basically stated that arenas will be set up all over the world, and they'll be using basically a tribal system in which people, mainly men, as it was then, would pin their alliance against a team, usually of geographical significance, and they will just pledge their alliance to it, and that would then create fighting amongst each other against other teams and their supporters, and this would be used as a distraction away from more important stuff. But going back to the Roman satirist Juvenal, Bill Cooper once stated, "It's a Roman circus and no one questions the emperor." Now this is the reason why the likes of Neymar or Ronaldo are paid such mind-boggling salaries, because they are just tools of this distraction, hence why they have such high profiles, such as David Beckham has and still does. And while there's nothing wrong with cheering on your team per se, we have to remember that not to get too bogged down with the bells and whistles of the sport, and remember what is more important, and the real aspect of uniting humanity and the world around us. At the end of the day, football isn't the answer, love is, and our connection with everything and everyone around us as infinite consciousness, through love and enlightenment. So we can still all enjoy the World Cup and cheer on England or whoever we're supporting at the World Cup, but always remember not to follow the words of the late great Liverpool manager Bill Shankly, as football isn't a matter of life and death, and it certainly isn't more important than that. But as a football fan myself, it doesn't mean we can't enjoy the World Cup. Of course we can, I will. And it doesn't mean we can't enjoy football. It just means that we should be aware of what's more important and not to get bogged down in all the hype and all the sensationalism that surrounds it. And certainly not to fight amongst each other and remember that we all want consciousness and we should all unite together in love. So why not enjoy the World Cup and have a great summer? I certainly will. So on top of that, I hope all Unite Planet viewers, especially the football fans of course, all enjoy the World Cup and have a great summer. Goodbye. Thank you for watching the video. We hope you enjoyed it. And remember to like and also subscribe.
And also our Facebook page is below. Also our Patreon account is also below, so you can see more videos. If you sponsor us, that'd be brilliant, please. And also we also have a website which is www.uniteplanet.com. And one more thing, let's unite and not to fight.
And remember, together we can unite this planet better. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.